Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host, Justin P, and my MVP co host, Shannon Finch. Dave is on vacation. He'll be back in 2 weeks. We took a little break after the draft. So we'll be back to talk about some training camp stuff and, some other stuff that's going on. So everybody be back. I know y'all missed us. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, be back. I know y'all missed us. Check this out on YouTube, Spotify, et cetera. All the links are right there in the description. Right along with myself, Dave, and Shannon's social media platforms. You can follow us there. But without further ado, here's my MVP co-host, Miss Shannon Fish.
All right. So, like Justin said, we're glad to be back. Definitely missed you guys. And I'm ready to start talking some Ravens football. It's been a lot going on the past couple of months that we missed out on talking about because we did take our break. So we're going to start with just some social media talk that's been happening over the past couple of months. So the first topic we're going to start with is the Ravens Mount Rushmore. I'm pretty sure you saw that, Justin,
Mhm.
where they had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Jo, and Lamar listed for our Mount Rushmore. Do you agree with that list? And if you don't, who would you take off and add?
For the time being, no. I will take off my mom for Terrell Suggs there because the body of work Terrell Suggs have done. And he's going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Like
Hmm.
Lamar, in due time, if he keeps on the same trajectory, then yeah, I have no problem with it at all. Two-time league MVP, and then like I said, once he get a Super Bowl, because I really believe he's going to cash in on his promise. But then couple more Pro Bowls, All Pros, stuff like that. Then yeah. But as of right now, gotta go with Terrell Suggs, man. Like I said, all-time Ravens sack leader, two-time Super Bowl champion, defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year. So yeah, right now you gotta go with Suggs, Ray, Jo, and Ed.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no disrespect to Lamar. I'm sure we all, as Ravens fans, appreciate, what he's done so far. But I mean, right now it's just too early. He still has things he can accomplish. Like you said, once he wins that Super Bowl, then we can have a different conversation. But I don't know how you ignore different things and different people. Like, so you said Suggs, definitely Suggs. He would be at the top of my list. But also Marshall Yonder, a case can be made for him as well. He's most likely going to be a Hall of Famer too. So we've had a lot of guys that have contributed, over the years, and it's just hard to put Lamar over them at this point. I mean, Lamar's only going into a seventh year. You know what I mean? So it's like you put him in there now. Really, what else does he have to do or prove for you if you think he's that high up at this point? So I would just say no, like you said, not right now, but it doesn't mean not ever. He still has work to do. And there's some other guys that can definitely go ahead of him. So it's not a knock on Lamar, but I just don't think he's up there yet.
I agree.
All right. So this next topic was something that I really was hoping would have like died down because it was kind of happening when we were like right after we were recording, but we never really touched on it. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but didn't make a big deal about it, and it kept being a big deal about it and being a big deal. And here we are in July, and it's still a big deal. So, do you think is it a big deal or not to you that we have not seen Lamar and Bateman working out together publicly?
No, no. Because we live in a world where everything has to be validated, and that's a gift and a curse. We
Hmm.
don't know what them two doing behind the cameras. Just because we didn't see it, that don't mean it didn't happen. So I'm gonna say no because everything is not meant for everybody. If they didn't feel
Hmm.
like bringing up the cameras and all that stuff like that, they don't have to. Some people just want to do stuff for show. So, just because we didn't see it as fans doesn't mean they're not putting in the work. So, I'm gonna say no. And that's the part of the all season. The all season blues, I like to call it. So, any little headline we get, people want to always try to make something out of it just because it's in
Hmm.
football right now. But in my personal opinion, I say no. It's not a big deal at all.
So, based on what you just said, I agree. We don't know for sure, right? We don't know whether or not they have or have worked out together, or if we can even say they haven't. I think the reason why people were saying they haven't is because we have seen Lamar and different clips of guys on a team that he has been working out with, and it hasn't been Bateman. We've seen them working out separately. We've seen Bateman working out. We've seen Lamar working out. We've seen Lamar working out with different guys, but just not Bateman. For me, it is a big deal, and I'm not gonna, blame anybody for it being a big deal, but I do feel like it's a big deal because, for one, both of these guys have missed time in the off season due to injuries or due to trying to rehab and come back from injuries, not being able to be out there and really build that chemistry. The chemistry that you build on the field, it happens off the field a lot of the times. That comes from you practicing together. That comes from you guys hanging out. I mean, if you think back to like Joe Flacco days with Dennis Pitta and what was our fullback name that was in their crew? Like they just had a click.
Yeah,
They hung together. Was it
Kyle,
you? So they had a click. They hung together like you knew they were friends. And I'm not saying that you have to be friends to be on a team and have success, but when you see guys working out together, like you see him and Zay Flowers, and you see the relationship that he had with Hollywood, like Lamar has it in him to build these relationships with guys where it's like, okay, that's my dud. He has it with Mark Andrews, but I think it's because they kind of came in at the same time. They've had time over the years to build that chemistry. I've seen them with Aguilar. I've seen Aguilar come down there. I've seen Likely hanging out with them. And the last time they were here, I guess for the mandatory OTAs, I believe that Lamar said, and this was something that I didn't know if he was joking about or not, because I didn't hear the clip to like see if he was laughing, but he made a statement something along the lines of like guys need to come to Florida to work out with him. And
they don't want to leave their state or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, they don't want to leave their state, right? Now, I had a problem when I heard that, and I didn't make a big deal about it. I didn't say anything on social media and our groups, anything like that, because I'm like, I don't know if he was serious. I don't know if he said it like tongue in cheek. I really don't know. But the problem I have with that is whether quarterbacks want to be or not, they should be the leader of the offense. And I think this team looks at Lamar like he's the leader of this team. And it's okay if you say guys don't want to leave their state. Well, what does that say about you? And every time that we see you out there practicing, you're in your state.
Right.
So if you really do want to get your guys together in the off season, why can't you plan something and set a date and time, Pacific time for everybody, whoever you want on the offense, whoever wants to come down on the offense to come down and all of you guys work out. I believe I saw a video of the Titans quarterback. Him and his guys went to Mexico. I remember a few years back when Jimmy Graham had first went to Seattle, offense and defensive players took a trip to whatever island they went to and were working out and doing things like that. I'm just saying things like that help you build chemistry. And what really makes me feel like it's a big deal is that even though Bateman signed his extension, I'm just not sure if that means that he's still going to be a Raven. And I want him to be. I want him to break out and be this person that we all had hoped that he could be. But something just doesn't feel right with how this is going on. And I don't know if you noticed that a few weeks ago when it was Fashion Week in Paris, I believe that's what they were doing in Paris.
Yeah.
Lamar was there, and we saw Lamar taking pictures with a lot of different guys, NBA guys, rappers, producers. He was out there having fun. He was having a grand old time. Rashad Bateman was over there too at the same time that Lamar was there. And not one time do you see a picture with Lamar and Bateman. And to me, it's like you guys couldn't even link up in Paris, not to work out, but to hang out, even to get a snapshot, like to chit chat, to talk, like to grab something to eat. Like on one hand, it's like what you said, it don't have to be for social media. It ain't got to be for everybody. But I just feel like in this day and age, unfortunately, we do see a lot. We did see Lamar with Zay Flowers. We did see Lamar with Aguilar. We did see Lamar with Blakely. We did see Lamar with all those people in Paris for the Fashion Week. I would have loved to seen Lamar and Bateman at some point this offseason away from the Ravens. But I just feel like we're not going to get that until they all report next week. And that's just unfortunate to me because I just feel like they could have built some things over the past couple of weeks to be better during the year. But I guess they just want to do it when they get here.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, some people may just click better. When in training camp or whatever the kid, they might not like the same things. They might not have the same interests. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just speaking on
That's true.
speculation. So
That's
uh,
true. And I can vibe with that. I mean, everybody doesn't vibe. But when I saw they both were in Paris, I'm like, wait a minute now. Nobody else on the Ravens was over there. So why not? And then y'all quarterback Bob I don't know. It just seemed funny to me. But Lamar, but I do want to. Lamar speaks very highly of Bateman. Lamar talks about how much he wants to get him involved. So I don't feel like he like hates the guy or it's some sort of beef like that. But something isn't clicking. And as our leader, I would just hope that Lamar could have done a little bit more to bring Bateman in and they could kind of build some chemistry this off season. But like I said, we'll just see next week once they all come in. All right, so still on to still on Lamar. Lamar's been a topic all off season as usual. Um, I don't know if you saw that Cam Newton said that Lamar Jackson was the greatest dual threat quarterback ever. Do you agree or disagree with that?
As of right now, I gotta agree because the accolades. You some people will probably say Vic, 'cause Vic is my favorite quarterback of all time. But if you look at the accolades and the numbers and the winning record and all that, I'm gonna have to say yes.
Hmm.
Two-time MVP. He has a winning record as a starter. His passing yards up, really close to like 16,000. So as of right now, yes, and I think his numbers are only going to get better and better and better. So as of right now, yes, it's because of the and he broke Vic record stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
I think I have to agree with that. I mean, when you have somebody like Cam Newton saying that he's the greatest dual threat quarterback, it's hard to kind of dispute that. I think arguments can be made for Vic. Like you said, running wise with Vic and Lamar, it's like like I could go either way, but I can also see why people would say Lamar, right? When I think about Vic with his passing, I think about we saw the peak or the best of him his Philly days when it came to his passing. And with like Cam Newton, I think we all think Cam Newton had an arm. I mean, Cam Newton came into the league throwing for like what 400 yards his first two games. Like it was never a question whether or not he could pass the ball. Some people say he wasn't that accurate. Running, he could run, but he more or less like ran. He ran through you like a linebacker more than like Lamar's kind of shifty. You can look at like RG3 and think about what could have been with him if he didn't get injured because he had it. I mean, as a rookie, we could see that he had it in him. But like you said, with the accolades of Lamar, it's kind of hard to dispute it. The only thing he doesn't have right now is the Super Bowl, not even a Super Bowl appearance. So Cam has that and has an MVP, but Lamar has two MVPs. So I think I'm gonna go with Lamar with that as well. All right, so this Saturday, July the no, before we get to that, do you think the Ravens will sign a free agent, a veteran free agent before training camp? So the veterans they report next Saturday, July the 20th. And if you think they're going to sign one, who do you think it will be?
Ah, that's a good question. Possibly a guard. I don't know. You got some guards that's out there. Dalton Rosner got signed, but you still got Andrews Pete, Connor Williams. Those guys sit out there. He play guard and tackle. Possibly an edge rusher because, like I said, you got a lot of improving guys there besides Van Noy.
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel Ogba, possibly there, edge rusher. Carl Lawson, they've been pinning him to the Ravens a lot. And then you got safety because you got a lot of inexperienced guys now. Since now that Geno's gone, Justin Simmons could possibly decide to come here. Especially if you want to try to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Now that Jamal Adams is signed with with the Titans, so he might be like, hey man, I need to go and get on the team, man.
Mm-hmm.
If I join the Ravens, at least I know I'm surrounded with a lot of talent. I've got a chance to win. And he'll get on the field a lot. So, ain't like we're going to sign him, just have him sit there and hand out Gatorade Award. He's going to play.
Right, right.
Then that works out for us because now we don't got to take Kyle Hamilton away from what he do best, and that's play around the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mike Thomas. Veteran receiver, who's been proving his league. He's been hampered with injuries the last couple of years, which is unfortunate. But we all know when healthy, he still can play.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Thomas, because like I said, our receiving core can still use another veteran presence there. So one of those five guys is just
So I don't think that we're going to bring anybody in before next Saturday. I don't know why I just don't have because I feel like if that was something we were going to do, we probably would have done it already. Especially when you're seeing like Adams get signed to the Titans, I believe it was. I just don't think that the Ravens are going to just jump at it just because. But I do think that once everybody gets in and gets on board and they kind of get a practice or two in, I think at that point we're really going to look at it and say, okay, who should we bring in? And I do think Simmons could be a guy that they bring in. I like Michael Thomas. I just didn't know if he was a free agent and if we would have to trade or give up some assets to get him. I don't know if he's a free agent or not.
Yeah, he free agent.
Um,
He free agent.
is he? I didn't know that.
The
I'm
Saints
surprised that he's
released the
still.
Saints released them right before the draft.
I didn't know that.
For the
Wow.
draft. Yeah.
So yeah, so Simmons and him are two guys that I wouldn't mind coming in if the Ravens were going to bring somebody in. I would be surprised. I don't put nothing past them, so I don't think they're going to bring anybody in before next Saturday. But if they were to, those are two guys that I would definitely like them to bring in.
Okay.
All right, so this Saturday, July 13th, our rookies report to training camp. So we drafted 9 guys and we have 22 undrafted guys. Give me your top 5 guys that you're most intrigued by going into camp. They can be drafted or undrafted.
Okay. Nate Wiggins, one. Of course. T.J. Tampa. Joe Evans, the edge rusher that was undrafted out of I think Iowa.
Mhm.
Bo Brady, safety. See how that safety competition for that to replace Geno Stone between him and the next person I'm about to name, Sadusky Kane. So those are my 5 right there. And then another one, I'll give another one. Devontae Walker. Can he be that number 4, number 3 receiver? Since we lost Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm. So you actually named 3 guys that I wanted to name. 2 I did name. I took Nate off only because we talked about him right after the draft, and I already like him. Like he's everything that I would want in a quarterback. I'm sorry, a cornerback. It's the way that he acts, his swag, everything. Like I love all of that. So I didn't want to say him just because to me that was like stating the obvious. But I'm definitely interested. Can't wait to see more from him. I have a Odessa Isaac. I want to see if he outplays your boy, David.
Jabba.
Ajabo. I just want to see. I mean, because I do feel like he could be a rotational piece. I don't think he's going to come in and be a starter. I think that he could contribute, but I just want to see if he outplays David because this kind of make a break for David at this point.
Yeah.
Even though we know how much of a steal he was when we got him, and he only felt like that because of his injury. Like at this point, it's time to step up and show us what you got. I also like Walker, Devontae Walker. I just want to see if his speed translates in the NFL. That's something that I feel like we're missing. I mean, Zay can get it, but he's not fast like Hollywood was. You know what I mean? Bateman got some speed, but just to have a guy that can probably do some go routes, like that's something that they specialize in. I'm not against saying that. I just want to see if that could translate um, in the league. I also had TJ Tampa. I feel like with all the talk about Marlon Humphrey, and we'll probably get into that this offseason as well. I just want to see how he progresses through training camp, through preseason, through the regular season. Of course, he's not coming in to be a starter, but the way that our DBs roll and how it happens sometimes, he might have to step in and play at some point. So I just want to see what he can do and how well he plays and Nate plays. That's going to determine a lot with Marlon Humphrey because from what I've read, he's going to make or he's due to make like 25 million next year. That's kind of a lot for a guy if you're not getting that production out of Marlon like we're used to. I'm also interested in Devin Leary. I mean, you told me some good things about him after the draft. I'm interested to see, see what he can do. I know he's not coming in. He's not going to be any sort of competition for Lamar, but we need to think about our backup quarterback situation because that's we can see what happens around the league. That's very important. So I just want to see what he can do and what he brings to the table. And an undrafted guy that I'm interested in seeing is Quadri Ishmael's son. Is it Quadir Ishmael?
Yeah. Yeah.
His size is very intriguing to me. Like I like big wide receivers. I just do. And having his dad be able to coach him up and tell him different things and teach him different things, I think that'll be beneficial for him. So I don't know a lot about the other undrafted guys. Of course, we always end up signing one or two, mostly one. But I'm interested in seeing what those guys can bring to the table.
Yeah. I put you on that same guys, and also Roger Rosengarten for me too. That's another one.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's see if he can play that right tackle spot. Also, who else? Rasheen Ali. That's another one.
Hmm.
Like I said, Keith Mitchell's banged up. Right now it's just Justice Hill, Derrick Henry, and him are the healthy backs.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So our last topic is they did a ranking. I guess it was like because I saw this too, where they ranked positions in each division. I'm assuming they did each division. I saw AFC North, and the Ravens were number one at four of the positions. So we had quarterback, running back, linebacker, and safety. What were your thoughts when you saw those rankings for the Ravens?
Pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. You honestly could have went defensive line too. If you want to be technical,
Hmm.
just, we did lead the league of sacks. I mean, who was a big part of that? Justin
Yeah.
Metapike and all that. I mean, so we could have got 5 out of 7. But to be fair, I get it. The Browns D line is good. Miles Garrett, defensive player of the year, Darius
Hmm.
Smith, and those guys there. So I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, it's accurate. Like I said, the reigning MVP. Yes, I get it. The playoff record isn't what we would like it to be, but it takes time. Peyton Manning record was like the same record until he
Hmm.
finally got it one up. So it is what it is. Like I said, Lamar is definitely the best quarterback in the division. Running backs, Derrick Henry, Keith Mitchell, Rasheen Ali. It's no brainer. Pittsburgh, Najee Harris, inconsistent. The Bengals lost Joe Mixon, so that's a big blow. But Chubb and his injury could have made it interesting. But Derrick Henry is more healthier right now, so and like I said, getting ready for
Hmm.
the hill and all that. So yeah, definitely. And safety, like I said, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, those guys right there, man. Again, like I said, even though we lost Geno Stone, we still got Darius Washington. But our two starting safeties are the best. You know what I mean? So like I
Hmm.
said, Bengals lost Jesse Bates. Minka Fitzpatrick been hurt. The Browns lost some guys. They got Warren Thornhill, but they lost Grant Delpit and a couple other guys. So yeah, man, don't, I see no issues with it. To be honest with you, not speaking unbiasedly, but it's accurate.
Hmm. I agree. When I saw it, I looked at it and I was like, this is fair. With Lamar, I don't know how you don't put Lamar, and I like Joe Burrow, and I think it's a conversation that can be had if he's healthy and things like that. But I just feel like coming, I'm assuming they're basing a lot of this on last year, and probably what you have this year as well, because the running backs for us, I think Derrick Henry just set us over the top. Like you really can't compete with that too much. But for Lamar, I think it was fair to give that to him as far as the quarterback. Obviously, like I said, with Derrick Henry, that sets you apart from a lot of different running back cores. And we talked about our linebacker core so much last year. We still have Roquan, and then you add Trenton Simpson to that. I don't really see it being any fall off having him next to Roquan. And then our safeties. I mean, they were ranked. Were they the number two or were they the number one duo? When I saw the list of safeties in the league, I mean, hard to argue them, being at the top of the list for that with the division as well. So I think all four of them made complete sense, and it was no argument for me. And even the positions that we didn't get, I wasn't mad at it. Like I could see why they went where they went. I didn't see a lot of the Steelers weren't on that list, were they for anything?
Nah,
Yeah, they
I
weren't.
mean,
I didn't. They weren't on there for
defensive
anything. Yeah.
line could have definitely been theirs with T.J. Watt and Highsmith, but they guess they're looking at overall.
Yeah, I didn't. I was kind of surprised to see. That just felt like they might have threw them a bone at some point. But yeah, I wasn't surprised about the Ravens. I think that was fair for us. I mean, the Ravens are really outside of the division. We're really one of the better teams in the league. You know what I mean? Like we're at the. I don't really see a lot of teams that I could say this team is better than us. Across the board.
And,
So,
Emmanuel Acho tried to say that on. I don't know if you saw this. I watched a clip of it on YouTube,
mhm.
probably like a month ago. He said we're not going to be this good because we lost Queen, we lost Geno Stone, we lost Ronald
Hmm.
Darby, we lost all these. Oh, everybody we lost has been replaced already.
Hmm.
So I
I
mean,
mean, that's fair for him to say, but that sounds like someone who's not used to watching the Ravens. That sounds like somebody who only looks at highlights and read, headlines. Because if you know anything about this organization, you would know that. And it's no disrespect to any of them. Like I said, when they were here, we appreciated everything they could have done for us. But I said this week when we talked about it this off season, like we didn't lose anybody who I feel like I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, they're going to be sorely missed. You know what I mean? Like, and it's no disrespect to them. It's just we lost a lot of guys, and I feel like we replaced some guys, and I think we'll be fine. Like, I don't feel like it's going to be any fall off where you're going to be like, oh, they're missing Patrick
we
Queen.
lost Morgan Moses and Kevin Zeitler too, but we got
No,
younger and more athletic there. Roger Rosengard, Josh Jones.
yeah,
You know,
I mean, and it could, and we could be wrong, but I don't see it as that. I don't see. I mean, we've been here before as far as having to lose guys and replace guys. Like, I'm
2011,
fine with
yeah,
it.
it happened. Remember, we lost some players. We lost a couple key
Yeah,
players, and
yeah.
we plugged them in with draft picks and free agents, and boom.
And when you have certain guys, like you're always going to be in contention. We have core guys. I mean, you just look. We just talked about, where we were ranked the best in our division. So I'm not worried about that. But I understand Acho. Like I said, he's a casual when it comes to the Ravens. You know what I mean? And that goes for a lot of the talking heads on TV. They don't sit and watch these games week in and week out. They're just watching highlights and things like that. So yeah.
Well, everyone, thank y'all for tuning in. Great show. Wasn't super long. We try not to hold y'all here. We know everybody got to eat dinner and get ready for work, so we try to give y'all a little something. But we'll be back next Tuesday. Me and Shannon will come up with more good stuff to talk about. Like I said, we'll be back the following week. And then, like I said, we're gonna do one show for now until preseason starts. Oh man. So Shannon, anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Just one of the comments said not even clowning. No, I mean the thing about and I appreciated what Clowney did for us last year, but I don't feel like we're going to be like, oh my goodness, we're missing Clowney because there was so many guys that contributed to what went on last year. And even when you think about Clowney, how many times did we say, Justin, he almost got there. We wish he would have got there. We wish he would have did. You know what I mean? Like he was getting pressure. He was collapsing the
He
pocket,
could
but
he could have had 15 sacks easily.
yeah. But again, I don't want anybody to take it as me saying they were sorry or anything like that. I just feel like the Ravens will do enough. And then when we talk about like free agents, if they go into training camp and feel like something's missing in a pass rush, I'm 100% sure they're going to try to make a move to fill that loss. You know what I mean? You don't pay Justin Metabike that money to not still expect him to still produce the same way. And then you put guys around him. Doesn't have to be somebody like Clowney, but if they can give you the same production, what are we missing?
Yeah, like I said, if Oway and the Jabo can, like I say, shown flashes, but if he can just put it together for a whole 17 game season, stay healthy, and show us what he showed us in a couple games, we'll be fine. And then Tavius Robinson will be better, and Deesa Isaac, whatever we can get out of him is a plus. So we'll be
Hmm.
fine. We'll make up the loss from him because, like I said, the Calvin Noise back. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I think, like
Yeah.
you said, and we'll always make a move because like guys are going to. There's guys that's out there. There's guys that's probably gonna get cut or get put on the trade block. Like so, we have
Hmm.
plenty of time. You
Yeah.
don't feel your roster's not set until the first game of the season. So right now, we,
We're
we
good.
got 2 months to make something happen.
And we know that Eric, though, he's not scared to make moves during the season if he needs to. He's done that. So I think we'll be fine.
No question about it. So everyone, thank y'all for tuning in. I know what I'm about to say. Y'all can check out the show on those links right below. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff like that. Make sure y'all trade. I know what it stands for. It's right there at the bottom. Talk Ravens all day, every day. With your host Justin P. and my MVP co-host was Shannon Finch. Y'all have an amazing Thursday, have an amazing weekend. Let's go O's. We gotta get back on the winning side of things. Drop chips.
Yes.
I think we're gonna win tonight and then take care of the Yankees this weekend. Yes, for sole possession in the first place. But y'all guys have a great week and weekend, and we'll see y'all next Thursday, same bad time, bad channel.
Good night. Bye, Justin.
Bye, Shannon.